Uminoy sakaganim nasones lashishanim baby no Kovu shirureno la yazai bimechashmani Oy what's up my Mendel Oy betimu kol hashmani You mean a second Kani? There's a name, baby, no, you may smoke. Kabushir in the name. Oh, you mean a second Kani? That's all it's not your Kani. Oh, you may smoke. Kabushir in the name. Good morning, Rabbi Sai. This is real. Shkoya. You got the blunt of it. Wow. Shkoya! You gotta show this. It's a new level. All right. Yishkoyach. Rabbi say two celebrations at once. It's a tremendous schus, and it's a tremendous siyata d'shmaya. I see in it a nice nigla every single time. 1,500 shiurim straight, no breaks. It could have been COVID. It could have been other things. It could have been traveling. Baruch Hashem. It's a tremendous siyata d'shmaya. With Yom Kippur, with Tisha B'Avs, we had Erev Pesachs, very, very 1,500 days. But I think even a bigger celebration is the fact that Menachem Mateh hasn't said a shir in 1,500 days. That's even the bigger. He was the last one to give the shir here in my. Not instead of me. I gave my shir. He gave his thing. Not a stira. I'm sure Menachem Mateh also gave shir. Gary, I just want to point out that the camera is not focused. Do you see that? It's not focused. Okay. The boy said we got to get moving here. I want to announce this is the last day. Actually, I'll announce tomorrow. Last day that I'm going to be speaking about the push to give monthly. Baruch Hashem, from all the people that gave over Hanukkah, the number is, I think, close to $60,000 for the year. That's very, very nice. And every penny counts. I'll show you something, another program that I didn't, wow, it's inside the tefillin, it's gival, get everywhere. So $1 a day, Robert Lowenstein, Philip Goldstein, $10 a day, Moishe Feintuch, $2.75, $2.75 a day. Shani and Moti Belsky, the famous Belskys with the chairs, chairmarket.com. Asher Amer, $1 a day, Shia Reches, $1 a day. Craig Hummel, $52 a month. Barry Siegel, $36. Chaim Kurds, $36. David Abrani, $50. Avi Herschel, $36. Alan Lifshitz, Dr. Alan Lifshitz, $180 a month. Yishkoyach Godel Ma'od. Yisachar Rosenblum, 101. Stanley Sauber, 18. And Moshe Banda, 36. Yishkoyach Godel Ma'od. Rabbi Isai, I took a screenshot of my emails. I get many emails, Baruch Hashem. Here it's 4 almost in a row, the same exact thing. And what is it? Let me read it to you. I've suffered from FOG, fear of Gemara, for many years now. This is an old email. I'm just reading this now because it has to do. I was speaking to a long-time friend, Rebbe of mine, Rabbi Snow. He asked me, I was learning, I replied, not enough. Have you heard of it? He laughed and said, you have to start Daf Yomi with Eli Stefansky after some arguing. I said, okay, I'll give it a try several weeks, and many rewinds later, I find myself writing this email. For one simple reason, I just want to express my Parsa Taub and the entire MDY organization, countless hours. Okay, that's not what 4 people wrote. What 4 people wrote is, bull loose in Newark, a strong kiss from Hashem. And here's the video. I hope it goes. Here we go. Oy vey, this is with music. Okay, we can take. This is in Newark yesterday, a real bull running down the train tracks. And I got it from many, many people. Yishkoyach Golomoid for the video. Huh? Please stop sending it. You could stop sending. These are just a few examples. I got it from all different sources and places. Yishkoyach. Rabbi Stefansky, after 69 years of rarely opening up a Gemara, I started the cycle of Daf Yomi from day 1 and found Yeshir towards the end of Motzei Shabbos. I was thrilled by the clarity of the charge illustrations, and I've been with you ever since. You have taken a quantum leap recently. What's worse, Nachman, this or the fish? You don't know. This is a dangerous shear. Wow. 23 minutes into today's shir, shortly after your memorable fish menorah, you expanded upon the fisherman analogy with your own, which spoke directly to me. I teach math in a public high school and find time during my day to learn daf with you. In other words, he takes a few minutes here and a few minutes there. Sometimes I have a whole period available, but most of the time I find small spaces which can fill with your Torah knowledge. Because of your shir being available 24/6, I've been able to keep up daily. Kol Tuv, Ruvain, Alt. Wow, beautiful. Boys, I haven't mentioned this in a very long time. We have a program called MDY Kids. The kids come here to the Beis Medrash. How many kids do you have, Gershon? Around 70 kids on a nightly basis. They learn a daf a day. Young children, 10, 11, 12, finishing Masechta after Masechta. Gershon ben Moshe is in charge of the program together with David Gold. And I want to show you what they put together as a siyum on a small Masechta Rosh Hashanah for these kids. You're not going to believe it. Here it is. In addition to the prizes you'll see at the end of the video, I took this video myself. Take a lot of pride. Here we go. So. That's Gershon ben Moshe. So giving away an electric scooter. There's a lot of pizza. So Yishkoyach Gershon ben Moshe. Halavai, this program. Dov, you can take it. Dov Harris is with us from London. Yishkoyach, beautiful with the raffle. You know, we do a lot of raffles. We get the money and then we don't really do the raffle. You actually give the tickets. We give away prizes. No, some people. Jonathan won a suite in the hotel. Okay, huh? Yeah. Listen, how much did you charge? No, you didn't charge. Just it was whoever joins. What was it?
One is anybody who's part of MDY in the UK.
Anybody that's part of the MDY.
Another raffle for anybody who joined in Kiddushin.
So 2 different raffles. Anybody that joined the Kiddushin, anybody that's part of MDY, just to get the information, to be on the WhatsApp, the whole thing. Very, very nice. Okay, so beautiful. What else do we have here? Nothing. Masechta for the unity of Am Yisrael, the Paras HaChodesh Nishmat Chaneh bat Elimelech, Paras HaChodesh Nishmat Mendel ben Pinchas. I was just saying, maybe you can bring it to London. MDY Kids. It gives the parents a break at night. It gives the devices a break at night. It's just and they fill themselves with Torah, yediyas, just more yediyas. Then they come to yeshiva, they already know what Kanli the rabbi means. They know all these musagim. Huh? No. Parents are chodesh. No, I'm just saying it's another. People ask, why does MDY need $1.5 million a year, whatever it is? There's another example. Different programming, different things. Balloons. Parents are chodesh. Nishmat Zechariah ben Moishe. Lini Nishmat Zechariah bas Yosef. Parents are Shavua. Rafur Shlema for Debot Dvara bas Sarah. And Hatzlacha to all those who say Vayichulu with kavana tonight. Rabbi say Vayichulu with kavana. Parents Hayoim. There, Noam. Tonight. Vayichulu with kavana. You can do it for real. Yeah. Tens of thousands of shekel he won by Chulu Kavana. Mordechai, Taub, Rivkah, Rochel, Basar, Moishe, Kohen. And Parnas Hayoim, Hatzlocha l'schus, Eliyohu ben Naomi, Malka, and Mishpachas Haminadav. Yoni Weiss, in honor of my grandfather's yahrzeit, Nishmat Yoni ben Avram. Parnas Hayoim, Leeder Family, Nishmat Elisha Levi ben Tzvi, Lowenstern, killed in Gaza. The family should have an achama. That's the person you showed me with 7 kids, I think. Yeah. 6 kids, a young guy from Chicago. No, what do you say? The wife is from Chicago. Young guy.
No, not from Beit Shemesh.
The Levi was buried in here in Beit Shemesh. Moshe Banda. A lot of people, a lot of Americans. The same Shivan. Okay. Moshe Banda. Refur Shleim Yaakov Yehuda Leib ben Rochel Dvasha. Shichol Amshich lefarsim shurim chasidus. The art of the month, we don't have a sponsor yet for the art of the month. Huh? Who's from Pomegranate? Moshe Banda? Okay, very good. Rabbi Isai, we're holding on Daf Beis, Amud Beis, Tanur Rabbanim. Yesterday we were discussing about an insurance policy. A woman has an insurance policy and doesn't really say, let's say, it doesn't say who's the beneficiary. Does the husband automatically get it? Do her children get it? You'd say the husband, right? So, Tanur Rabbanan behemis ish or isha. We're talking about a shar muad. Here. Behemis ish or isha. Pasuk chavtes. I put chavtes before chavches for a reason. You'll see in a second. It says in the pasuk regarding shonagachu mitmol shilshayim. We're talking about a shar muad. Behemis ish or isha. Talks about a man and a woman. Why? What? We know that a woman is equal to a man. The pasuk right before, pasuk chavches says, referring to the top. So why does it have to repeat itself one pasuk later? To teach us. Just like a man, a husband, when somebody damages him, and the guy has to pay, and then he passes away before he even gets the money, it goes to his children and not to his wife. Afisha, a tremendous chiddush, Afisha nizakel Rochel. When a woman is damaged and the mazik has to pay, it doesn't go to the husband, it goes to her children. Ask the Gemara, let's understand this. What, he doesn't hold of a husband inheriting a wife? But Tanya B'Yara Shoy says, that the husband inherits a wife. This whole halach was only said in Koifer. That what? That the bull killed a woman. And the owner of the bull has to pay the value of the woman. Because it only occurs after the death of the woman. The whole chiyuv only happened once she dies, because before she dies, there's no koifer. The moment she dies, you're chayiv koifer. So that's something called v'havele roi. There's something called roi. Roi means something that there's earnings that happen after the death. This is a halach that we learn by a b'char. A b'char is not noitel beroi ki b'muchzak. Every Bechar inherits 2 portions of the Yerusha, but not something that occurs after the death of the father. And we're going to see what that means exactly. And this machlokes. What about, does it only mean profits? Or does it mean even, let's say, a loan? Let's say the father lent somebody $100, then he dies. Does the Bechar get 2 portions? Does he get $66 and the other son $33? Or because it wasn't there at the time of the death, it wasn't in the bank account, it only came afterward, but it's a loan. Okay, we'll see later. So too, by a wife and a husband, the husband inherits his wife for everything, but not on something called ro'i, not on something that happened after her death. So, what about our case with insurance? When does it go into effect, insurance? Insurance policy only goes into effect when a person dies. So when a person dies, that's called ro'i. So l'chayra, according to this, the husband will not be the beneficiary of an insurance policy. The children will. No, Mendel says it's different. Let me hear why it's different.
You're paying now for it.
So what? So what? I don't know if I should drink this or not. I know. Leiby, you did this? You went for it? I made a bracha. Okay. Yeah, we're going to see, especially according to the Gemara, that a person gave a loan, and that's also called roi. So certainly. Omar Rishlokish. I'm just saying I'm not pasking again. Exactly. I'm not a Rav. I never claimed to be a Rav. I'm bringing it up myself without discussing with anybody. It could be it's different. It could be.
Royal.
My time,
Oh. Talking about koifer. Koifer means the value of a person's body, worth. So I heard once a Rosh Yeshiva said, chaval that we don't have koifer nowadays, because he has so many bochum yeshiva that don't value themselves at all. They walk around feeling that they're garnished, nothing. He says, if you see the koifer, you see how much a human being, this guy is worth $100,000. At least I'm worth something, not a garnished. Okay, stam is my taimo. Ask the Gemara my taimo. Why? We just explained that koifer only occurs after. Am I right that it's not 100%? No. Okay. You're going to hear it later. It's kedai to fix now, so you don't get those emails. The koifer only occurs after the death of the person. Question is why? Let's say a bull gores a person, and the guy's 98% dead. It's just a matter of minutes. They call in all the kids. You have to say vida, the whole thing. So Rashi says, Amdu. It's already, how much is this person? We have to already go to the marketplace, see how much he's worth. The Yoshim are already thinking about all this koifer they're going to get over their father. He's already dead. He's about to die. So why can that be considered as if she got the koifer when she was still alive, a moment before she died, and therefore the husband doesn't inherit it? My taima, Omar Kro, because the pasuk says vehemis isha. When this death, complete misa, vehemis, Hashar Yisakal, then the bull is killed. The gambal of Yumas im koifer yushasalav. So just like when it comes to the death of the bull, it has to be vehemis, it has to be a misa. So too when it comes to koifer, there has to be a complete misa. You can't just say, oh, we evaluated, we realized that he's going to die in 5 minutes, so there's a chiyuv. No, there's no chiyuv until the moment of death. Ask the Gemara, so you're telling me that's a halacha, that's only said by koifer. Rivkah doesn't say this when it comes to regular damages that the husband doesn't inherit. A person hits a woman and strikes a woman, and she loses her pregnancy. So think about it for a second, Rabbi. If you think stop without looking at the Gemara, a woman who's married, somebody damaged her, and she lost her pregnancy. Who should get paid here? The wife or the husband? The wife. What about the pregnancy? What about the baby? Who owns the baby? Who's the bailam of the baby, so to speak? Wife? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So you don't pay at all? So says the Gemara, the physical damages that she had go to her, lo isha. But the value of the pregnancy of the baby goes to the husband. There's a pasuk here. There's a pasuk in Mefurish that she lost her pregnancy, and she doesn't die. The Baal Ha'isha, the husband of the wife, comes and he sues. In a Baal, Noisen, Rabbi Say, if you look at these three words, this is what makes Gemara one of the things that makes Gemara very difficult, especially for beginners. If you don't have the vowelization, the nekudas, or whatever, how do you read this? Ein habal noisen liyarshav. The husband shouldn't give to his yarshim. That's how I would read it. But Baruch Hashem, I have nekudas, I have commas, periods. It says, Ein habal, if there's no husband, which is a very interesting lashon, if the husband is not alive anymore, noisen liyarshav, then it goes to the yarshim. Ein isha, if the woman is not alive, noisenes liyarshel, this is a very big problem. Nezek, we're not talking about koifer. You said this halacha Rebbe Kiva applies to koifer, since koifer occurs after the death. Over here we're talking about nezek. Somebody cut the woman, broke her arm. They say that's worth $2,000. Who do you pay? If there's no woman, it doesn't go to the husband. Noisedes liyarsheh goes to her children. So you see there's another halacha, another case which is not koifer that goes to the yarshim. Says the Gemara, Shivcha v'nishtachara agiyores zacha. Interesting halacha. If you have a woman, a shivcha, who was freed, and she got pregnant afterwards, who was she married to? A slave that was freed. In other words, a ger. Agiyores, who was she married to? A ger. Explains Rashi, what's going on here? Just say. Rashi says, because most of the time, people marry the type of people that are similar to them. So, since she's a Giyaris, she's going to marry Giyaris. Since she's a Shivcha, that Shinishtacher, she's going to find the Evet that was Mishtacher. Fine. As a side note, I heard from Rabbi Deimante here in Eretz Yisrael. He's a big Yoetz Nisuin, gives a lot of advice in marriage. He said that once a couple came to him, a very interesting looking couple. He was from Mea Sharim, she was from England. And they want to get married. What does the Rav say? So he said, I don't advise it. It's not a good idea. She said, why? He says, listen, l'chatchila, you try to go with the same type, English with English, American with American, Sephardi with Sephardi, Hasidim with Hasidim. It's hard enough as is, man and woman, to throw in different personality, different minhagim, and different things. It's very, very difficult. So they got married. They said, well, they're already dating a lot. They got married. Then they came to him. They says, Noir Vayim. He said, look, she was complaining that he was eating with his fingers. He wasn't using a fork. Especially on Shabbos, they eat fish with it. They have minhagim, different things. She couldn't stand. She's from England. And he said, she's like the Queen of England. Everything, Noir Vayim. So Kitzer, he made shalom. He said, at the end of work was b'di'evet. It's not recommended. So if you read a shidduch not recommended, you have to no be'emes. A guy came to me right now in Chicago. When I was in Chicago, he said he has an organization, unbelievable. He's trying to fix the shidduch crisis. He says by Hasidim, I didn't know this. By Hasidim, the crisis is the opposite. The men don't have shidduchim. He shows me a book of men, this thick, and a book of women, this thick. And he said by Litvaks, it's the women. A book, this many, thousands of names, and men this one. So he says he makes shidduchim this way. He already made 2,000 shidduchim like that. It's just people that he has a whole organization who's collecting for it. He has a lot of shatchanim, and maybe 2,000 in a year. I don't know. Forget the numbers. A lot of shidduchim of harder to marry couples. Not these harder. Take the 5. Over here it says maybe you shouldn't. L'chatchila. It happens. What?
It has to be married again. Because she became pregnant when she was a girl. If she came in as a Jewish person,
yeah. What are you saying? That what? Why not? Why can't she get married to anybody? No, afterwards. The point is, what's the point? Let me just finish the sentence. What's going on here is that we have parents that don't have relatives. They're gerim. Shifcha, gerim. Don't worry about the time tzaddik. Just worry about the sugya for a second. Thank you. Worried about the time. It doesn't know what's flying here. It doesn't know where. If we're in Baba Kama, but it knows what time it is. Shkoyach. Let's concentrate on the sugya. Baruch Hashem, we have timekeepers here. Givaldik. So what do you do? So now there's money to be. His bull damaged a person, and he owes money to the person, but the person dies, and he has 0 yarshim. It goes back to himself. Zacha, it goes back to himself. So akopanim, we have a problem here. Why does it go? You're telling me there's another case. Rebbe Kiva said only one case that does not go to the to the husband by kaifer. Here we have another case that it goes to the yarshim. It's not even kaifer. Amarabba begrusha. We're talking about they used to be married, but now they're divorced. So that's why it doesn't go to the husband. It goes to yarshim. Amarabba begrusha. B'chein Amar Reb Nachman begrusha. Ask the Gemara, Amri. Grusha nami tiflik b'dmei vlados. If she's divorced, so isn't she 50-50 in the pregnancy? Yes, there's a father somewhere. Why should the father get 100% of her pregnancy? It's not fair. They're not even married. So isn't she somewhat of a balabas on her pregnancy? Rabbi said, listen to this. There's a special pasuk. This pasuk, Bala Isha, that a husband is Kaviyachol, the owner of this baby. That's how the Torah designates it. When it comes to Vlad, he's in charge. Xeris HaKosov. Doesn't make any sense. Xeris HaKosov. Not only that, even if they weren't married, Biznus, he's also the owner. Says Taisves, wait a minute. That's only if he's ra'ui to be a husband. She was single. But if she's Eishes Ish, he's not the owner of this Vlad. If it's his sister, Arai is not the owner of this Vlad. Okay. But it's very interesting. This might be Nogeh, I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. It might be Nogeh to artificial insemination, IFV, all this certain stuff. Because how do you miyach as a kid? Based on what? I don't know if it has a lot of shaykhs. It could be it has shaykhs. Fine. My time on Makra, I saw with IVF, there's unbelievable, you can look into it, unbelievable halachas. There's a shayla if a kid was born by IVF, if you doicha a bris on Shabbos. So also in halachas, what about chalitza? If they did IVF after the father died, and it was his, is it considered his child to pater for chalitza? It's a big nidai, things like that. Okay, fine. Zog the Gemara. My time. Yoshis olav Baal Hayisha. It's tali in Be'ila, in Bia. That's what it's tali in. Who's the Baal? Who's the Baal? That's the Gemara. So, Rabbi said we have a machlokes, a big machlokes, when a father owes money to somebody owes the father money. The guy owes him $1 million. After the Levaya, during the Shiva, the guy that owes the money comes and drops off $1 million check. Does the Bechar take 2 portions of that $1 million check? Oh, it's the father's money. It wasn't a profit, it was his beforehand. So we have machlokes. First of all, Rebbe is going to say 100%. That's not Roy. That was his, no problem. We have machlokes even in Chachamim. What if he returns money, cash, versus property? One says cash yes, property not, and one says property yes, cash not. So says the Gemara, if that's the case, we have a case here where there's no ra'ui, or in a case, this is far to say the exact opposite. This is far to say money. I gave Ruvain money, so he returned money. So it never left my reshus, kaviyachol. Or you could say no, money goes, money comes. It's a different money. But a karka, if he returns karka, that karka was meshubah to me or him before he died. Is this sure? So it's the same. It was there while the guy was alive. So it's not considered right. You can look at it different ways. Upon him, there's a way, huh?
What if he owes someone else?
Who's he?
Father owes someone else. No,
okay. Now you're going into Shibud Nasa. Fine. We don't have time now. We got to move on. Rabba says, Govu karka yeshloi, govu mois ein loi. We're talking about a Yerusha here. Again, the concept of a Bechar does take 2 portions. So Rabba says, if it's karka, it's as if his father always had it. It was always his, because there was a lien on it. Gova Mois, but money, I don't know if the guy's ever going to pay me back. It's different money, no. Nachman Omar Gova Mois, Yeshlo, he says the exact opposite svara. Money, I gave him money, he returned money, so I never lost the money. Gova Karka Elav, it's a different Karka. I gave him cash and he returned Karka. I never had that Karka. Fine. You're right. That would be a great pshat in Rabbah if you go according to these two shitas. We're not going according to those two shitas, we're going Rebbe holds that there's no such thing as roy almost. Even ribbis, even money that comes profit from a loan that the father gave, is also something that the Bechar is going to take two portions. Koifer not. Koifer is a brand new money that never existed before the woman died. It only occurred after she died. There was zero before she died. A loan, there's not zero. The guy has money in his bank, he lent it out, and now the Bechar is going to take from that. Reb Shimon Lakish. Yeah, okay. Says Gemara Reb Shimon Lakish, Shor Shemis is Eved, Shaloi b'Kavana Potter. Rabbi, this is the whole sugya. If you want to go home now, that's fine. You could. I'll tell you. I'll read galachas with the sugyas, and you could go. That the shaila is, if a bull kills a slave, and he doesn't intend to kill him, do you have to pay? For a slave, do you have to pay the 30? For a regular human being, do you have to pay koifer? Shaloi b'Kavana. We have a machloikis here. Shor Shemis is Eved. A bull who was a muad killed a slave. Shloi b'chavana, but he had zero intent. He didn't know he's killing him. Pater mishleishim shkalim, he's pater. Why? Very simple. It says that you have to kill the bull, but you don't kill the bull in this case. If you kill the bull, you have to pay money. But if you don't kill the bull, they're intertwined. They're totally zebazeh. If there's no skila, no shloishim. Omer Rabba, Shor Shemis ben Chayrin. I'm going to add to that, says Rabba. A bull, forget a slave. A bull kills a regular Jew, Shleb Kavano, but he had no intent. Potem Mikoifer doesn't have to pay the value of the human being Shenemar. Same Raya. Hashar Yisokov Gambol of Yumas. If the skila, there's Im Koifer Yishus Olav, then this Koifer. Kozman Shashor Beskila, Balam Sham Koifer. Ein Ashor Beskila, Ein Balam Sham Koifer. Okay, Koifer, by the way, just yesterday, I think it was, that they announced on, I don't even want to say his name in Shir, the Rishoyim over there in Gaza, $400,000 on his head. A head has money. Head is worth something. $400,000 on him. Daf is only $100,000. I don't know the nafkamina. Okay, fine. Says the Gemara, so Abaye asks a question. Hey, Mishoyri is ploini, if you have a bull who's a muad, and the owner admits, my bull killed Ruvain. Now, do you kill the bull? Or boys, I hear this? The owner comes along and says, my bull, I admit my bull killed someone. You kill the bull, you don't kill the bull. He's a killer bull. And an animal that kills a human being, you kill him. Do you kill the bull? No. Why? Because you need Adam. The way you kill a person, that's the way you kill a bull. And you can't kill a person, a guy comes to business, oh, I killed some people when I was younger. You don't kill him. You need Adam. Or he killed another bull. So he pays. My lav, koifer. The question is, why does he pay koifer? Based on what you just told me, he shouldn't pay koifer. Says the Gemara, Allah, damim. So now the Gemara introduces a brand new concept. Unbelievable. There's a case where there's no koifer. You just told me that they're intertwined, they're connected. If you don't kill the bull, you don't pay koifer. Over here it says, you don't kill the bull. Why? Because you only know that the bull is a killer based on the testimony of the owner, so you don't kill the bull. But it says Mishalim. He pays. What does he pay? Koifer. So you see that they're not connected. No. He doesn't pay koifer. So what does he pay? He pays damages. He pays damages. How much is the person worth? $100,000? Pay $100,000. Ask Rashi the bomb question that everybody's thinking to themselves. What is koifer? Koifer is, this is a machloikis. Is mei mazik, mei nizik. Let's say it's mei nizik. How much is the person worth? $100,000. You pay $100,000. Says Gemara, no, you don't pay koifer. You don't pay $100,000. What do you pay? $100,000. It's the same thing. What's nafkamin if you call it koifer? You call it damim. It's the same. Says Rashi, there's enough kamina. Beautiful. It gives us a little bit of understanding. What if the person has zero money in his bank account? Zero money. If it's koifer, you better find $100,000 now. You know why? Because it's a pidyon nefesh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to strike him dead. If you want to live, Pasha, you want to live, you better find money. Go collecting, I don't know what. But if it's a loan, if it's damim, I don't have money. Sorry, I don't have money. What am I going to do? I'm going to collect money to pay off a loan that I owe you? Nobody, even real loans they don't pay. Kolchkin has it. Yeah. Im damim, ask the Gemara, wait a minute. You're telling me this new concept called damim. They has to pay. It says in the Reisha, hey, Mishari is plain, I admit that my bull killed you. It's a chayv. It's a chayv.
Even if it's damin, even if he has no money, it's still a chayv.
So? And then what? Yeah. I'm saying, what do you want him to do? I don't have money. You're not going to make him go collect by doors, but if it's a pidyon nafsha, you tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu is upset at you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu could kill you until you pay your soul. So what does a person like that do? He finds, somehow he's able to find money. He goes to the shver, whatever it is. Yeah. Says the Gemara. Idamim. Okay, if you're telling me there's such a concept, what do you then? Hey, Mishari, don't worry. Amud Beis is very short. Idamim. What do we do at the end? Hey, Mishari is avdi shalploini elim sham apiatzmoi. This didn't work according to this guy. I didn't know about this at all. I thought it's in 3 months from now, and I don't know what happened. I thought it's a short and it's going to fly. The second part of the Bryce over there is that my bull killed a slave. Did I say it right? Is it a Bryce or no? It's a Mishnah, right? Mishnah Ksubas. When the same case that he killed a slave, you say he doesn't even pay. But why not? Okay, so might have been potter the whole thing. But what about damages? I damaged so and so slave. We just learned that even though there's no koifer, there's something called damim. You have to pay for damages. If I wanted to, I could just answer you a very pshat b'doichak. Oh yeah, you're right. The Reisha talks about one case, and the Sefer talks about another case, and that will be extremely big tchak because how are you making a difference between a slave and a human being? You're not even making a difference between them. You're saying one case is talking about damim, one case is talking about a knas. That's not fair. Miu, I don't want to go that route. What I'm going to tell you is like this: the nafkimina between the Reisha and the Sefer is idi v'idi damim. They're both talking about nezek. Miu. This is nafkimina. He says in the Reisha he's going to pay damim. In the Sefer he's not going to pay damim. Again, in the Reisha he's going to pay for damages, and when it comes to slave, he's not going to pay for damages. Why? Why? What's the case? Because these witnesses came and they testified, they cut out that this bull killed. What's the halacha if 2 witnesses come and say the bull killed? You killed the shar. They weren't sure if it's tam amud. So the owner comes along and he admits the muadhu. But the bull's going to die anyway. What he just did is he's mechayiv himself koifer. Because if the bull is a tam, he's potter. If the bull is mud, he's chayiv. Then the mishalim koifer al pi atzmoi. Because now he's paying koifer. Could you pay koifer al pi atzmoi? It's not a knas, it's mammon. So maybe you can pay al pi atzmoi. But when the shard is not killed, there's no edim, so you don't kill the shard. So mishalim damim. So the Gemara says like this, beautiful. When you don't kill the shard, there's no koifer. If there's no koifer, there's something called damim. But when it comes to a slave, by a slave, you don't pay knas. Why? Because he was maida. What happened? The same case. 2 Adam came and he said he killed a slave. And the master says he was a muad. Because since it's a knas, potter, he doesn't pay. So since there's no knas, there's no damim, says the Gemara. We're talking about Edim. There's no knas, there's no damim. Rabbi Isai, turning the daf, sponsored by Chaneh Averbach from Florida. Leeder Nishmat ben Meir ben Zev David, my holy nephew, the son of Jen and Robert Early. and Nishmat ben Yom Meir and Ben Ze'ev David. By the way, Rabbi said the Shloshim is this Sunday, so if you took upon yourselves dapim that you want to finish before the Shloshim, now is a good time to do it. And one last reminder, it was very successful in a way. We raised over $60,000 from people that gave monthly. So it's the last day. The Soid V'Shorish Avodah says Chanukah is the time to give tzedakah, and not everybody gives meiser. I'm not going to get into it. Certainly not chomish. So give to Torah. Bring another person to the daf. The schusim that you'll have tzedakah plus Torah plus everything. Ein l'shayr. There's many options. You could give $1, you give $100. What was the guy that gave $1,000 a month? Beautiful, unbelievable. Yeah, Hakol Yafeh. We take all denominations. It could be shekel too. Zog the Gemara. Motzei Rav Shmuel bar Rav Yitzchak. So Rav Shmuel bar Yitzchak brings a brisa. It says, Kol shechai b'ben chayrin chai be'eved. It's 1-to-1. If you're chayiv by a bull that kills a free man, you're chayiv the same thing by a slave. Bein b'koifer, bein b'misa. Both. And it says the Gemara, what do you mean? Koifer be'eved mika? There's no such thing called koifer. Elalav damim. Wait a minute. How do you say that you don't pay damim? Over here, you see mafurish, you do pay damim when it comes to a slave. Says Gemara, he himself, Rav Shmuel bar Yitzchak, he's going to tell you the answer. He asked a good question, but he knows the answer. It was Rabba that answered. We're not talking about a case, says the Gemara. We're talking. What are you asking me a question? You asked me a question from a Brisa and a Mishnah. They're not the same. That's all you have to know about the answer. The Brisa is not talking about a person that admits. The Mishnah is talking about a person that admits about himself. This is what happened to my bull. I'm admitting that my bull caused damage. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Eidim. Nothing to do with the owner. It's a different case. Don't ask me questions from here. When the bull killed on purpose, deliberately, then and the owner, because of that, has to pay koifer. In the same case, he would have to pay the 30 shekel. When this is still the bride. Okay, so there is a connection between a ben chayrin to a slave. That's what we're saying. There is. In the Brisa says there is a connection. Yeah, when there's edim, but when there's a haidas baldin, then there is a huge nafkamina between a slave and a non-slave, because a slave is a knas and Moedeh b'knas pater. Two different things. The Mishnah is talking about Moedeh b'knas, and we're talking about edim. Fine. So the Gemara has a Givaldik Kasha. Yachi Ishai, his fire. According to you, that if there's no koifer, there is damim. Yeah, it's an unbelievable chiddush. In a case where you don't pay koifer, it doesn't mean that you're absolved completely. You don't have to pay something. You have to pay for damages. Almost the same thing or the same amount. When somebody's fire, you light a fire, you made a barbecue in the forest, and leilo goes and you didn't even realize it when it spread and killed somebody. Al pi edim. You did it, there was Eidim that testified this is what happened, but you had no intent. According to you, there's no koifer. There's no koifer when it comes to fire. The idea of koifer is only said by a bull. Fire, you're not chayiv koifer. Oh, you're not chayiv koifer, so you should pay for damages. But the halacha is you don't pay. How do I know you don't pay damages when a fire kills b'shayir? Here we have a little bit of a thing. This is not accurate 100%, but you have either the gdi is tied and the slave is not tied, or the slave is tied and the gdi is not tied. So what's the first case is? The goat was tied, the slave wasn't tied, and they both, somebody burnt the gadish, the bale of hay, and they both died. Chayav. So what are you chayav on? You have to stick in a little, take your pencil, you only chayav on the gadish and the goat. The human being knows how to run away. Fine. Here we have it. You have the slave that's tied. The slave is tied. And we can make it a little lower. Don't worry. You're not going to see. It looks like the goat is about to eat. It's not fine. Okay, fine. Potter. Why? If the slave, listen to this is going to be a big chiddush. Rabbi, thinking about it for a second. If you kill the slave who's tied down, you're potter. Why are you potter on the wheat? Huh? You're all wrong. I knew you were going to say that. Here's the problem. We learned that Eishai Mishum Mamainai. If it's Eishai Mishum Chitzai, very good, then it's Kim Levi Rabbi. You mamish killed him. But if it's Mamainai, your bull goes ahead and attacks somebody, there's no Kim Levi Rabbi on that. You're not Chayiv Misa. So from that, Rava proves that what? You see that you potter from when a fire kills a human being. It says here that if the slave dies from your fire, you lit a Godish, and the slave dies, you're potter. I asked everybody why you potter. The simple thing is, Kam Levi Rabbi. No, but there is no Kam Levi Rabbi here because you hold Eisha Mishum Mamainai. So there's no Kam Levi Rabbi. Get there. So why is he potter? He killed the slave. He didn't kill the slave. He lit the Godish, and the Godish lit him. So the answer is because when your fire goes out and travels and kills somebody, you potter. Here, Rav learns that you potter on a human being. Says Gemara, no, you learned wrong pshat. Homer Shlakish, no. What happened over there? He didn't light the wheat, he lit him. And then everybody agrees on that. That's not Eishai. That's literally killing somebody. So let's just finish this raya. So how do you know? How does Rav know that when your fire goes out and kills somebody, you potter? There's a chumrah that fire has from a pit. A fire is chayiv for everything. That what if a fire, we learned this already in this episode, a fire burns stones, whatever, and you have to plow again, you chayiv. Even though it's not so raw. Fire doesn't burn stones, it just made a little dart. Mashenkin bar. Mashenkin a bar. Here, look at this. So it says in the pasuk chiv that ish bar. Well, what's Mashenkin bar? That a bar doesn't pay from davar meshuna. Like if a stone falls or a part of the ground falls in, we learned different pshatim over there, you're not chayiv. V'ilu sheish mishalem mishalem b'chavana, but the fire pays when you b'chavana damim. Masha'enkim bar loiktani. How come it doesn't say this case? So says Rava from the fact that it doesn't say that when a fire pays shalei b'chavana, you see that a fire doesn't pay. That if it's not intentional, you don't pay. It just says over here, I'll show you the pasuk. When a human being falls in a pit, you potter. That we learned already. Only when a shar chamar falls in. Says the Gemara, not a geraya dimatan of a shear. Just because it didn't mention it doesn't mean that it's not on the list. It's just we didn't have room for all the things on the list. Elo Rava Gufe you're right. He doesn't know for a fact. He was just asking innocently. He was asking Rabba, what do you think? Not that he knew for a fact and he learned it from this brisa, from this brisa. He's asking him, Isha what if the fire went and killed somebody without intent? Does he have to pay money? Is it only when it comes to a bull that he had, when he has kavana, he has to pay koifer? That's when there's a kavana like kavana. But when you burn somebody deliberately, you don't pay koifer. Why? On the one hand, maybe you shouldn't pay damin at all. It's only halacha by a bull, by koifer. Or perhaps no, we'll just take one part from the shart. That what? When a bull kills without intent, even though there's no koifer, we just established something called damages, money, damim. Even though you don't pay koifer, and teiku. On that, the Gemara says, teiku. What time Motzei Shabbos? What time was it last week? For real? Rabbi Sai, unfortunately, we're very behind. At Guten Shabbos, I got to teiku. Rabbi Sai, 8 o'clock, Motzei Shabbos. Everybody have a good Shabbos. Have a wonderful day. We'll say one kapitel Tehillim. Rabbi Sai, if you could have kavana, there's a lot of people in Tsaris, a lot of cholim, injured, kidnapped. Let's have kavana. Shir ma'alois b'mamakim yosicho Adonai Adonai shemo b'koili yelo zog yeshuvois kod Adonai ima Adonai tishmoyo Adonai miyamoy kimcha aslicho lemanti vorei kivisi Adonai kivso nafshi לדברו יכולתי נפשי לאדינוי משומרים לבויקר יחי ישראל לאדינוי כי מאדינוי החסד והרבה מפדוס והוא יבדס ישראל מכל אבו ניסו ואכן נגו בייס ישראל הניסונו מצור ושביו חוי מדבר ביום ובין ביבו שמוקים רחם ונעים ונצים לצור לבוא ומאפל להם בשביל לגבו השתו בגלוב זמן קוריב ונעים מה ורומי ישקויה